I've been thinking about this a lot lately with this Kevin Spacey thing. This that pedophilia is horrific. We all agree. It's terrifying. It's so devastating because, as we were talking about before, if someone gets shot, you could see the wound. If someone gets raped by an actor when they're 12 years old, like, how do you fix that, right? What is that? What kind of psychic wound is that? And what I was thinking is, it's really fascinating to me that we pretty much acknowledge that pederasts were commonplace in like the 15th century, the 12th century, the 13th century, the 14th century, like way into the 1800s. And then when you go with the Catholic Church, I mean, it is, if you're Catholic, shut your fucking iPhone off right now. You know what I'm saying?
No, but they get it. I was raised Catholic, and that was...
I was as well. Don't get your panties in a bundle. It is a religion built on kid fucking. It is a religion,
dude. It's all
that
about...
has a giant history of that.
And
right?
it's because they wouldn't let the priests have families based on land ownership, and some of these moves can take a beautiful religion and make it really dark. And
well, there was more than that. It wasn't just that they didn't let them fuck women because they were goddamn rock stars. The guys who held the Bible and could literally read it.
Right.
The average person could read Latin. They're all reading German and all these different languages. Like when Martin Luther. Have you ever heard the
Prophets of Doom? Yeah.
Yes.
Prophets of Doom.
Dan Carlin is one of my favorite fucking human beings that's ever lived. And his podcast, Hardcore History, is a national treasure because I've learned more about history and more about like the Mongols and World War I and fucking everything. But his podcast on Martin Luther and the first literal translations of the Bible that regular common folk could read.
They lost their minds. They're like, Jesus was poor too?
Yeah.
Fuck you guys. The peasant wars killed hundreds of thousands of people.
Imagine a world, folks, where until, what was it, like the 1500s?
Yeah, mid-15s. It was around Gutenberg, so that was like 1500s, mid-15s.
Find out when Martin Luther was
the 95 Theses.
Slinging dick. But the bottom line is what he had done was translate the Bible. He's slaying a lot of dick. Guarantee he wasn't doing this because he just wanted people to be free.
1517.
1517.
Actually October 31st, so
oh,
yesterday.
Jesus Christ. It was yesterday, Jamie. This is crazy.
Dude, it was after Sober October.
Yeah.
500 years ago.
By the way, I'm feeling toasty. I feel so good right now. I feel right back. I was worried, man. I was worried that if I smoked a joint, I would be like, oh my God, I'm going to die.
That's hilarious.
Goes out a worm of paranoia thinking about girls I fingered in high school. Ah!
For me, it's the edibles, man. I smoke every now and then if like there's someone I trust and I know has good weed, but like it's the edibles that I'm like, this is just flesh. Like
Yeah,
that shit'll make me
real.
like...
It's real. So this was the 1500s, 1515, is that what you said?
17.
So think about that. Like before then, that we're literally only talking about 500 years ago.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was
right?
a less information overload.
So think about 500 years in terms of the life of the human species is a mere blip. And one of the reasons why the Catholic Church was able to get away with just translating things to people where they couldn't read it is because that's how fucking everybody did it. They all did it that way. You would go to some place and some guy would tell you what the sacred stuff would be and you'd be like, okay, cool. Like how many people actually got a hold of it and read it all day and studied it and made sure there was no contradictions? Is why does this guy keep fucking my wife for Jesus?
Yeah, the Catholics were like the BuzzFeed.
They were banging everybody, I guarantee you. They had money. They were allowed to have wives. Like, do you know that, like, early popes ran armies?
Oh, yeah, dude. They were nuts. They had to go to France for a little while to, like, you know, because they had so much heat on them. Like, there was, because it's when it fused with Constantine, it's when it fused with the Roman Empire, you got that empire shit. Because Christianity is a beautiful religion, it's more, like, mellow and peaceful. And then you got Constantine and, the Roman Empire is falling apart. And they wanted to get, more favor of the people. So they just fused the two together. And they're like, they got the popes going and...
Crazy. They ran armies. That was one of the things that happened, apparently. There was like a conflict. I hope I'm not fucking this up. It was from Hardcore History. That there was a conflict where one of the earlier popes didn't want to send troops to fight Genghis Khan. Like, there was a lot of confusion in the early days of Genghis Khan.